My sister and I decided to pull an epic camouflage prank on her brother by hiding a large bucket of water mixed with paint directly inside the couch cushions. We wrapped and covered it up neatly so the trap blended perfectly into the sofa. Once everything was set, we called him over to sit down while he was casually eating a cup of noodles. We originally tried to get him to sit right in the middle, but he was completely unwilling to cooperate and chose to sit on a nearby chair instead. To force him onto the couch, we secretly made the chair wet and took it away. But he was so stubborn about not following orders that he sat right next to me on the edge to avoid the center. To distract him, we started chatting and got him to stand up for just a split second. The moment he lowered himself back down, he missed his safe spot and fell directly into our trap. You won't believe the absolute mess that happened next. A guy decided to get revenge on his friend for constantly borrowing his car without asking. He snuck up to the vehicle and shoved 2 rubber toy chickens deep into the exhaust pipes so that every time the engine started, it would emit a high-pitched, hilarious chicken sound. To make the prank even crazier, he taped a string of loud firecrackers to the rear bumper so that as soon as the car moved, it would trigger a massive, shocking bang. When his friend and her sister got in and turned the key, the engine immediately started making strange, squawking noises. Confused and knowing nothing about cars, they popped the hood to check the engine, but assumed it was just a minor technical error and decided to drive off anyway. The second the car started rolling, the firecrackers went off with a series of massive pops. Terrified by the explosion, they jumped out of the car and sprinted away in a panic. That's when the owner finally ran out to his car, retrieved his vehicle, and claimed his victory. My sister got a tiny cute turtle as a pet and planned a wild prank on my brother. She loved playing with the little reptile and wanted to show him, but he's terrified of turtles and refused to touch it. While he was glued to his phone, I swapped the real turtle for a fake one and slathered ketchup all over it to look like blood. I set the fake turtle on the table fast. Next, I faked accidentally smashing it with a hammer. Wait till you see how he completely lost it. Subscribe for more chaotic sibling pranks. One day, I decided to pull an extreme kitchen chain reaction prank on my sister by sneaking up behind her and tying her shoelaces directly to a counter full of plates. While she was busy preparing food, she had no idea I was crouching right at her feet setting up the trap. I actually messed it up at first and had to struggle for a bit to make sure the knot was precise enough to work. Once it was finally locked in, I jumped up and jump-scared her right as she turned around. She gasped, but didn't take a step. To force her to walk forward and trigger the plate disaster, I pretended to fall flat on the floor and begged her to pull me up. She completely brushed me off, telling me I was a grown woman and could get up myself. Next, I grabbed her phone right in front of her face and threatened to look through her messages with her boyfriend. She quickly snatched it back, but still managed to stay perfectly balanced without moving her feet. Finally, I resorted to the ultimate method. I grabbed a handful of flour and threw it right in front of her face. Furious, she charged straight at me to get revenge, but the second her foot moved, this happened. We set up a giant, menacing cardboard cutout of a huge man holding a baseball bat directly behind her bench. To kick off the trap, my girlfriend walked by and purposely dropped a valuable item on the ground right next to her sister. The sister watched it fall, waited for my girlfriend to walk away, and then quickly snatched it up and stuffed it into her pocket. When my girlfriend returned and politely asked if she had seen the item, her sister flat out lied and insisted she didn't take anything. Frustrated, my girlfriend kept emphasizing how important it was, but her sister just doubled down and refused to give it back. Finally, my girlfriend warned her, "Fine, I'm calling my giant bodyguard," but her sister just laughed, thinking it was a total bluff. The exact second my girlfriend walked away, her sister turned around and came face to face with the massive cardboard thug. Drop a like to save her from the ultimate park scare. I decided to pull the ultimate mind-bending prank on my sister by convincing her she had literally time-traveled into the future. While she was fast asleep, we completely transformed the room into a beautiful wedding scene. When she woke up and saw the gorgeous decorations, our dad stepped into the room fully dressed up and scolded her for oversleeping on her big day. Shocked and confused, she thought she was dreaming and went right back to sleep. For phase 2, we brought in a neighbor's little daughter to make her believe she now had a child of her own. She woke up, stared in absolute shock, and frantically told the little girl, "No, you're not my daughter." Terrified, she initially pulled away, but as time went on, the two actually started getting along pretty well. Later, she fell back asleep, and we initiated the final phase. We had a female friend dress up and wear makeup to look much older, pretending that decades had passed. When my sister woke up, she was completely traumatized, staring at her friend and screaming, "Who are you?" hid my twin completely under a large pillow and stuck her hands out from under the blanket to pretend they were my feet. I draped the blanket over both our bodies to create the perfect illusion. When her boyfriend came over, I acted like I was sore and asked him for a foot massage. He started rubbing what he thought were my feet, but he immediately noticed they felt totally different. When he got suspicious, I just played it cool and told him, "Oh, my twin's feet are just naturally small. It's completely normal." After a while, he got distracted by his dog and turned away. My twin took the chance to crack the pillow open just enough to breathe, but we quickly went back into position. When he returned, he was so confused that he finally decided to pull the socks off to see what was going on. The second he peeled them back and realized he had been massaging hands the whole time, my twin popped up and screamed. I decided to pull an epic prank on my twin sister by dressing up in a bright yellow suit and hiding in plain sight. First, I jump-scared my other sister while she was asleep on the couch. Instead of getting mad, she loved it and helped me set up a genius trap for her twin. She helped me get into position, pretending I was just a mini yellow sofa, and even helped me stick my hands out in a resting position so it looked totally natural. Once I was camouflaged, my twin sister walked in. My accomplice sister had intentionally made the big couch wet, so my twin would be forced to choose the yellow sofa instead. My twin was curious. She'd never seen this piece of furniture before, and started poking the tiny foam balls that were spilling out of me. She didn't suspect a thing, even when she saw the hands sticking out, and just started playing with them. After a while, she grabbed her hot cup of noodles and finally decided to take a seat. As soon as she sat down, I popped up, she tumbled onto the floor, and her noodles went flying everywhere. The mess was absolutely massive. One day, I decided to pull an epic prank on my friend by disguising myself as a mannequin she had just ordered. I stuck both of my legs out of a large delivery box, covered the rest of my body with mannequin parts, and waited for her to start the assembly. While she was busy working on the puzzle, she noticed my legs looked suspiciously realistic, but she was so focused that she just kept on working. I decided to crank up the tension by giving the mannequin head a slight kick, making it wobble. She paused, clearly confused, and started questioning why there were two heads in the box. She kept right on assembling, even measuring the height of my legs compared to the torso. I was getting so tired of holding the pose, but I waited for the perfect moment. Watch until the end to see the look on her face when I finally jumped out and scared her. One day, a girl decided to pretend she was becoming a powerful witch. She sat down on the floor, started chanting, and began making all sorts of spooky noises while objects around the room started shifting on their own. Her twin sister walked through the door, stopped dead in her tracks, and stared in total disbelief, convinced that her sister had finally lost her mind. The more the witch performed, the crazier things got, with books, cups, and decorations flying through the air and sliding across the floor. Give her a like if you find this magic gone wrong prank funny.